Wow, they looked really similar in height there at the beginning.
I hate
Godzilla.
You so much. I hate
King
you so
Kong, but
much.
very similar in height.
size.
Yeah.
They can ride each other.
What's up and welcome back to Kind of Funny's Godzilla Monsterverse in review. That's right, we're ranking, reviewing, and recapping the entire Monsterverse. Of course, I am Tim Geddes. I'm joined by the Nitro Rifle Andy Cortez.
Hello.
The Big Daddy himself, Greg Miller.
Godzilla.
And the producer/seducer, Nick Scarpino.
That's good.
Thank you.
Really good.
Obviously, we're jumping full spoilers for all of this. Just to be clear, if anybody doesn't want to be spoiled in this movie, we're spoiling from here on out. But yesterday, before we watched this movie, I was like, all I want to see is one thing. I just want to see Kong ride Godzilla.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, no, that's not going to happen. It doesn't make sense, whatever. During the, hours later, you three watched the movie without us. Me and Joey watched it separately.
Mm-hmm.
I get a text message from Andy that just says, someone ride someone. And I popped the fuck off.
Yeah.
I was like, this is about to be the greatest movie of all fucking time.
I sent you that before someone else rode someone else.
There was a lot of writing of people, a lot of writing of things in this movie.
Very shocking.
A lot going on.
Yeah.
On here. But of course, this is Kind of Funny's in review. Each and every week, we rank, review, and recap different movie franchises. We're actually going to take a week off next week, but then the following week, we return with the beginning of a new in review. Mad Max on the road to Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. We're doing Mad Max 1. Nick, can you name them?
You have Mad Max, you have the Road Warrior, you have Thunderdome, and then you have
Fury Road.
Fury Road. No, Fury Road,
And then Furiosa after that. Yeah.
Now, it's going to be really fun to go through this series with you guys because I don't know if you know anything about Mad Max at all, but it is
You didn't watch the latest one?
Fury Road, that's it though. I haven't seen it.
You've seen Fury Road, so it's a very interesting evolution to this series because Mad Max was an indie film shot in Australia with a very little known actor named Mel Gibson, and it is very, very, very fly by the seat of your pants, like guerrilla sort of photography, very weird, very violent, about sort of.
Similar to King Kong versus...
So just
Exactly.
going from where that is to then where we get to with like Furiosa, it's going to be cool to watch you guys kind of see that evolution because it starts with basically the as society starting to crumble, but there are still sort of agencies,
There's
and
still
Mad
like a
Max
CVS
is
every once in a while.
Mad Max is the one last holdout of like a highway patrol officer.
Cool.
And there's just a roaming band of like bikers. that
Nothing
are
cooler
fucking
than
with
Highway
me.
Patrol.
Absolutely.
Shit.
Super Troopers, baby.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
I think you guys are gonna
Very
dig it.
exciting. So it'll be me, Andy, Nick, and Joey for that one. So
I'm
real
excited.
exciting times for that. So everybody get hyped, get prepared for Mad Max in review. But we're not talking about today. We're talking about the Monsterverse. Of course, I want to give a shout out to our amazing Kind of Funny membership members. You get to watch the show live as we record it. You get the shows ad free, and you get daily exclusive Greg Ways, a multimedia experience. Very special shout out to our Patreon producers, Carl Jacobs, Kishan Patel, Nathan Lamoth, Karen Lindner, James Hastings, and Casey Andrew. We appreciate all of you so very much. Today we're brought to you by Shady Rays, but I'll tell you all about that later. What you got going on, Greg? You laughing?
Oh, yeah. Nick was picking things off me and then started going to my ears. So
Yeah.
That's where you're at if you were in the wide shot.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
yeah, appreciate that. Today we're talking about Godzilla Cross Kong, the New Empire, with a runtime of 1 hour and 55 minutes. It is the second shortest one by 2 minutes.
Wow.
This one's 2 minutes longer than Godzilla vs. Kong from a couple years back. This is releasing March 29th, 2024. Once again, directed by Adam Wingard, who is notable for his works in You're Next, the horror movie, and the Blair Witch remake that I enjoyed quite a bit.
Wait, they remade that movie?
Yeah. Well, a sequel.
Oh,
No, it was like one of those modern things where I'm like, it's a lot of the same things happen, but it's completely different.
was this
as well.
a quarantine movie?
No, it's 2016.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Holy shit. I
Yeah.
did not know that.
And then music was done by Tom Hulkenberg.
Yeah, the Hulk they call him.
You keep looking at me like I'm supposed to. Is that DJ Junkie
It's
XL?
DJ Junkie XL, everybody.
What's his name?
Tom Hulkenberg.
Oh,
Why
that's-
doesn't he go with that name?
Yeah, no.
Tom
DJ
Hulkenberg
Junkie
is
XL.
badass.
Maybe he's trying to distance himself from Batman v Superman now.
DJ Hulkenberg. Like, come on, man.
Do you think that at some point someone was like, "Why don't you just go with DJ Hulk?" And he was like, "No, that's too
They'll
cool."
own it. Then Marvel will come after me. It's the whole thing.
Yeah, but yeah, he has done music, of course, for Justice League Snyder Cut, Mad Max Fury Road, Batman v Superman, and Alita Battle Angel. So got some hits under his belt.
I've never
there.
seen Alita Battle Angel.
I don't know,
It's
Andy.
just shown every once in a while on HBO, and I'm like, oh, okay. Everybody likes this movie. It seems like
I like
everybody's
Kevin.
other version
I like
of
it.
your Speed Racer.
You did?
Yeah, I liked Lita. I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
I was like, they should make more of these.
I mean,
know
I
what
would
I
say
mean?
it is. Oh, for sure, it is one. It is a speed racer for me. But by the way, something's happening, y'all. There's some rumblings in the universe. Emil Hirsch, for some reason today, is tweeting about Speed Racer a lot. He's talking about an IMAX re-release. He's talking about a 4K re-release. Does he just want it himself? I think that's where we're at.
I mean,
but the fact that a man of that power is talking about Speed Racer in the year 2024, only good signs, Nick.
Wow.
Only good signs.
I mean, good signs for you.
For me, for sure. This one had a budget of $135 million. Pretty lean for this type of movie.
Yeah,
specifically compared to the $200 million of Godzilla versus Kong from a couple years back. And it's way too early to find any type of box office situation here. But we're going to get into our full spoiler thoughts on Godzilla New Empire, whatever the hell you know what the name of the shit is.
Do we?
No one does. I don't
Nobody
think.
does, yeah.
Nick, I want to start with you. What did you think about the film?
This movie is, I found it entertaining. I had a good time watching it. It's a spectacle film. There's not much else to it. I do think that I would have enjoyed it a lot more if it came in closer to the hour 30 mark, because I feel like by the time we get to the third or fourth new place in the Hollow Earth with the people that don't talk,
Gotta go deeper.
we just keep going lower and lower. I'm like, I don't.
It almost was an hour 30 for you.
That's true.
Yeah.
So I should preface. I missed the first 10 minutes of this, 15 minutes of this movie.
What happened?
Because I was like, I'm going to the Daily City Century. Thank you. And I was like, last time we went there, they had 30 minutes of previews, so I'll just come 10 minutes late.
And the lights go down, and Nick still wasn't there. I lean over to Andy, and I'm like, he's not even late. He's doing this on purpose. He had a huge problem with the Frozen Empire previews being 30 minutes, and he's going to make a big stink about how I was smart and I came here. And, blah, blah, blah. And then the Legendary Pictures logo come up, and I just started laughing hysterically. I'm like, he's going to miss the movie.
I can't believe it.
And then
I cannot
I leaned
believe
over
it.
again when Nick walked in.
It is
Saw it
unbelievable.
playing already, and then turned around to walk out, then looked at his ticket, and then came back up.
I thought I walked in at like the 2 o'clock because Kong's got raptor juice all over him. And I'm thinking, I'm like, any minute now, Maria Menounos is going to pop up and say, that's been your Kong minute or whatever. And then I just look at Greg, and Greg starts laughing at me. He's like, I was like,
good.
I
It's
missed
already
your
so
previews.
dark
Like,
in here.
there were no
previews.
There were no previews.
None.
They showed
Whoa.
like trivia. Like
They did the usual stuff,
interesting.
then they moved into the like, hey, you're here, and it's the screen's fucking dark or
We
whatever.
had
And then
surprisingly limited previews as well. There were some though. So
it
that
was
that's
like
funny.
I think the showing was 3:00. I think the movie started like right at 3:09 or something like
Yeah.
that. It was very, very shocking with
Yeah.
how little of anything they showed.
But going back to the content of the film, they're fun, they're dumb, fun, spectacle, big budget movies. I don't really I've never been a big Kaiju fan. I've never been a big Godzilla fan, so I don't really have a touchdown to this, but I think it's smart to sort of continue to frame these around the humans and Kong because Kong can communicate with them, so he becomes a real life character. Godzilla is just kind of there the entire time. I will say that I did notice where that extra $50 million should have gone, which was all Godzilla, because he looked like a cartoon character the entire time. But I think Kong and the relationship between Kong, the mother, and Gia, I like that. I like the lore of this. There's just not much to it. You get to a certain point where like this becomes noise, and it becomes harder and harder for me to really care about all these CG characters that are around. But I think the fights between him and the Scar King, I think the fights at the end, all that stuff I kind of popped off for. I just wish they had a little bit more awareness to be like, we don't need these. And I understand it's probably because they want to make the money or whatever, or they want to eventually it's going to go to Max or whatever, and they got to keep people on the streaming platforms or not. I don't know. Maybe they're going to sell it off for a tax rebate. Who the hell knows? This is Universal. But
I was gonna say this ain't WB.
sorry, you're right. But ultimately, yeah, I enjoyed it. It's fun. 90% of the time I was turning to Andy being like, fucking get hyped, bro. Andy was not hyped.
He would look at me and he'd be like, badass.
It is this one is WB.
Is it Warner
really?
Bros?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So yeah, interesting. I liked the characters. I just think that this falls. The one criticism I have of all of these is that they just have these human characters there to just sort of explain to you, the viewer, what's going on, and all they do is exposition the entire time. They don't really move the actual, any of the action along, but whatever. I mean, we're watching Godzilla, right? At this point, see, in this one, Tim, his spikes went from white to blue to then pink.
Exactly.
And that's what's cool about this.
That's all
one.
you need.
That is.
But yeah, that's my thought on it.
Gregors.
I hated this movie. I think if you want like, and this shocks nobody, I'm sure, for how little I'm on in review or whatever. But if you wanted like a movie that is like Why does Greg hate movies? It's this movie where the spectacle doesn't do anything for me. I hate all the characters and they're all one note. I like Godzilla a lot, and I feel this movie's devoid of Godzilla. It's a Kong movie. You all want to make fucking King Kong the star, go ahead. Call it Kong and I'll stop fucking showing up. All right? Because I don't give a shit about this monkey.
But he sleeps in the little.
Yes, exactly.
He's so cute.
Godzilla curled up in the Coliseum like a dog bed. That's amazing. That's awesome.
hilarious.
Give me a motion picture about that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Not
right.
just, oh, he's up there and we're here in fucking Hollowworth. Everything's the same image upside down. I hate Hollowworth. That's when I said goodbye to this franchise. And so, like, there's a lot in it, right? Of like, I give it a 2 out of 5. I call it a bad movie. However, I am well versed in that I am not this type of movie goer, right? I'm not the spectacle one. I'm not the action movie. The fight scenes like doesn't do it. So like it's very much it's probably a 3 out of 5. It's an okay movie, and I just hate it because I was bored throughout. Like the whole time, like the fucking monkey talking all the time. Shut the fuck up.
You did the Greg Miller cackle, and because I know your laugh at this point, you have like 3 or 4 different types.
You've been around me a few years.
And you do that. Where you're like, I want to be anywhere else but here.
There was one time where I sighed, and it wasn't even.
It was
it was not me making a joke, but I did the. And Nick started crying.
I do also want to be clear, like while I was a little hotter on this movie than you are, I never want to watch it again.
Yeah,
it's not one of those things that I care to experience again. I'm not going to rush home and be like, D, you gotta watch Kong versus Godzilla, Frozen Empire, or whatever. The hell. At one point, Andy leaned over to me and was like, "What is the subtitle of this movie again?" I was like, "It's Frozen Empire."
So so that's a great point that you made right there, Nick, because when the movie starts, boom, title card hits, Godzilla, the new empire. And I looked at the font down low and I was like, I leaned over to Nick, I was like, that font reminds me of like Motley Crue or some like
100%.
80s hair band. 45 minutes go by and I'm wondering what the fuck is going on in this movie. And I lean over to Nick, I go, what's this movie called? He goes, I'm not sure.
I don't know.
And he goes, I think it's Frozen Empire.
I think they just had both. They saved it on because they just do the same ticket for Ghostbusters in this one.
I hated this movie too. I think this movie got
now we're cooking.
somewhat okay near the end, right? Because I am a spectacle dude. I like action movies, and I have always enjoyed watching. In our prior reviews, I've always enjoyed Kong's fighting style. Although, like, I got kind of sick of like the constant relying on the axe. Like, I loved watching him just like
Constantly
punch dudes,
losing
grab
it,
shit,
constantly getting it right. Like fucking cut somebody's head off.
It was
Kong.
yeah,
Put your shit together.
But I enjoy watching him fight. I enjoyed a decent amount of the action scenes. I think this movie is just so tonally everywhere, and they need to just stick with something. But whatever they choose to stick with may not be good enough, because when they're trying to get really, really serious with it, and I'm blanking on the character's name, the lead woman character,
Rebecca
Hall.
Iron Man 3's Rebecca Hall.
Like, she's doing her damnedest to, be a serious actor in this movie. And that's not what this movie should be. Like, I anything with the daughter storyline, like, I just don't care about any of that.
How long has she been her mother? How long?
Probably a couple
'cause
years
This
at
is
this
the
point,
thing, right? And like, it's this weird thing where there's a lot of saying that she's my daughter, and I just don't buy it. I just don't believe it. I don't see anything beyond you're caretaking here. You're the aunt. You know what I mean? Let her be with her people.
Exactly. Yeah. So when it comes to like this movie, we've said it a million times on these interviews. Like we always say that, like, why can't this just be like Fast and the Furious? I want these movies to just be so terrible that they're entertaining. And they still try really hard to be poignant and like have these beautiful character moments with emotion. It's like, man, I just need what I need. There was like one line from Rebecca Hall where she's like, Godzilla's sucking up all the fucking nuclear energy from that one dude. And Nick leaned over and he was like, badass. And I was like, that is pretty cool. And I wish this movie was just all.
Every time I said badass, I was joking.
Even when they put but like. But I need that dumb fun, and this movie's just like it always. They try to be so tonally serious, and I think it like my favorite part of any of this Monsterverse. I enjoyed a lot of Kong Skull Island, but when I think back to that initial Millie Bobby Brown trailer with gigantic Mothra wings expanding with the tiny scale of them, and it's like somewhere over the rainbow. I was like, dude, this movie looks like it's gonna be amazing, and it just like it was whatever.
But then Bryan Cranston's like,
well, that was another movie. That was a movie before that.
Oh,
but
that
like,
was a different one.
It's like
that's right. She was the one
either
with...
be a serious good movie or just go for pure bullshit, like terrible acting, one-liners. When they drop, when they're like loading up the glove on Kong,
yeah.
I'm like, this is really fucking dumb. But this needs we need this shot in the arm right now because I'm not enjoying much.
With you, right? Of like the one bright spot I thought for the film for me was Trapper. Like I loved him. I think he's exactly what you're talking about. Of this, he's riding down. He's a dentist. He's doing that thing. He flies, and like on top of the bright spot of the spectacle, sure, which doesn't do much for me, but the colors I thought were beautiful, and the soundtrack was awesome. I really like the way they use music and stuff. Yeah, I know. Come on.
Yeah, I'll jump off that too. I think those are the parts of the movie that I was like, oh, we're finding something interesting here. Like I liked that character specifically, and I like his dynamic with the sort of one note bad guy-esque, like where this guy's clearly going to get eaten by a massive plant, because I like that he's the one that's like, hey, this is where we fit in now in the pecking order. And we're going to experience this land together, and I'm not going to be necessarily like, it's not kill or be killed. It's like you have to understand we're part of this ecosystem. I thought some of that was really, really cool.
Brian Tyree Henry had maybe 2 lines that I thought were chuckle worthy, and I was just rolling my eyes at like a lot of what was happening in this movie. There's the dialogue was just like really terrible in most spots, and Rebecca Hall's dialogue all felt like it was recorded for a trailer to kind of like give the audience like here's what's in store for this upcoming Godzilla movie you're about to watch, where every line is like Mothra has the power, hopefully Godzilla can fight it. Yeah. Every line felt like it was recorded for a trailer as opposed to like you don't sound like a human being talking right now. You know?
That's the thing. It's all because it's all exposition.
Yeah,
right?
but again, like the whole movie, I thought like kind of mainly sucked. And near the end, once it was just a bunch of big fucking things punching each other, that's when I got a bit more joy out of the movie. But yeah, I'd still lean towards like I think this is a 2 out of 5 bad movie. I don't know, man. I don't know what could like. I already thought pretty lowly of this franchise, and fucking Godzilla -1 just completely like trounced any sort of like positive opinion I could have maybe had on this, unless they just totally went for a different direction. But yeah, I knew I wasn't gonna love this movie, and then I watched Godzilla -1. I'm like, oh, I'm probably gonna really hate this movie now because that movie is like fucking fantastic.
I'm so curious because I haven't seen -1 yet, so I'm so curious what tone they nail that everyone unanimously.
Dude, you're gonna love
like,
it.
this
It's
is
so
I can't wait.
good.
Just
I
fucking
can't
put
wait.
it out on streaming.
I know. I don't
or
understand what's
buyable,
out there.
whatever. Amazon.
Timothy, how did you feel?
The thing they nail about -1, it's the human characters. Like
Yes.
it's the first time they nail the human characters, and like they've tried so many times and it doesn't work, but when it works, it makes Godzilla work, and that's why -1 works.
Tim, tell Nick about how much you enjoyed Andy Serkis as all the gorillas in this movie.
Did he?
No, Andy Serkis is not in this.
But
movie.
hey,
so mad.
Shout out to King Kong for picking up the baby Kong and
just
using
smacking
him as a
people.
weapon. That was
100%.
fucking awesome.
Incredible. That was a good laugh. Great laugh.
In the history of Kind of Funny in review, I don't think there's been a franchise that I've just disagreed with all of you guys more on every single iteration of which ones we like, which ones we don't like, and all of it. I was listening back to our thoughts on all of them, and it is the only franchise that I'm like, oh, I am the outlier for every single entry here.
I liked Kong Skull Island. I remember. I don't remember loving a whole lot of.
And
the
I'm not
other
even
ones.
saying that like the ones I didn't like, you guys
Gotcha.
liked or whatever. Like the things about it, none of them have been perfect. We all freaking understand and know that. I love kaiju stuff, and I feel like as the years go on, I end up loving Godzilla more and more. -1 is a bar that I don't think can be hit by many movies. Like I put that up there with the Top Gun Mavericks of like, goddamn. This was as good as this could have been. So poignant, so important, so special, scary. It is everything a Godzilla film can be. Godzilla can be many things, though. I feel like kaiju movies just having the fun cartoon battles and fights and stuff and like literally a versus type situation. This is the other end of the spectrum, the movie we just watched. I was not excited about this one. Every time we've seen the trailers, I'm like, this looks like garbage noise CG. I really didn't like Godzilla versus Kong. You guys were a lot higher on it.
That was
than
the
I
one where they fought on the boats, right? For like
Yeah.
90% of the time, he was just fighting on a boat.
That movie to me just missed the mark of what it was trying to do, and there was way too many human characters with way too many human plots and all that stuff. This movie had one group of humans that sure I could have done without, but this is the least humans we've had in any of these movies, and I appreciate that. They should have shaved off 30 minutes, did not need to be as long as it was, but I was entertained the entire time. I loved the fights. I'm the type of person that cares about lore and cares about things coming back and like all the stuff. I pay attention to these movies in a way of like I give a shit about the different monsters and shit. So random things showing up doesn't feel random to me. I'm like, oh my god, this is the thing from King of the Monsters, Skull Island. I watched Monarch on.
I was gonna say, did they pull anything from Monarch?
No, they fucking
Okay.
didn't. Not at all. And like that's the problem. Is like they don't respect this shit. Like I don't expect you guys to respect it because they don't fucking respect it, and that sucks. But I enjoyed Monarch a lot for things that introduced. This movie doesn't really contradict anything, but it definitely doesn't use anything that the show set up.
I will say real quick, it's wild looking at the casts from the other movies. Just be like, where is everybody?
Where's everybody? And also, who the fuck cares, man?
Yeah,
like, you know,
true.
Yeah, and like the people that they bring back, it's like, all right, I guess that makes sense. But whatever. The humans didn't bother me. They served what they needed to serve in this. But the amount of kaiju in this, the amount of fights we get, I am here for the spectacle. I am here for the fight choreography. And I think that they really crushed all that stuff. Very stupid. But what this movie reminds me of is watching an entire season of a cartoon from the 90s, a Jackie Chan Adventures, a Digimon, where you're just getting all of the plot points, the good and the bad. You're getting the filler stuff. You're getting the weird side stories and the buildup of exposition, the arcs. Like this movie felt like it had 3 or 4 of the like 20-minute episode arcs of a cartoon. And I was here for it the entire time. There was so much dumb one-liners, so much dumb fun things that they were doing. I love how much the movie didn't have dialogue at all. And it was just like the beasts next to each other.
Yeah.
And like we knew exactly what needed to happen. And we didn't. Rebecca Hall would come in and say, hey, this is happening to make this happen, so this goes down. And I did not expect Mothra to come back, and it felt like Han coming back in Fast and Furious. This was, to me, what you were saying of like, we just want to be Fast and Furious. For this franchise, this movie did that for me. I feel like it's going to do that for a lot of people that like this type of shit. If you don't like this type of shit, you are not going to like this movie. But I can't wait to watch this again, and I really hope I can convince Kevin to go with me, because this is a 40X movie, everybody. Let's get fucking wild and go crazy and have fun.
Man, when you're flying at the end with the anti-gravity moments, that's going to be, they're going to make you float in the theater.
Totally. And so here's the thing with that. I do feel like there is a sense of scale that this movie just simply doesn't have, because we're in Hollow Earth, which is just a bunch of nothingness and like the gravity and all that stuff. But then it just allows characters to fight, and like we don't need to worry about the stakes of people dying. This movie clearly doesn't give a shit about that.
But it was way cooler, right? When Kong and Godzilla fought in the pyramids.
We saw that.
That was awesome.
And then with the, I loved the Godzilla in Rome. Like there's just a bunch of dumb shit that just felt like, yeah, we have all these pieces that we've put together for the last 10 years. What's the dumbest, goofiest, cartoonish thing that they can do? And I feel like they did that for the most part. But
when they were yelling at each other, I was like, are they big enough that they could see each other? Because they were just like, they were really far away, but they were just like, it looked like they were.
Like, wherever the one in Gibraltar, and I was like, is Gibraltar close?
Yeah.
To
And then he jumped off. I was like, is he gonna just dive bomb into the city below? Oh, there's one.
Like
Okay.
I imagine Godzilla being like, that's fucking Kong. He's way over there.
But looking at
I
this,
told this motherfucker never to come back.
the Monsterverse, I don't think any of the movies are like particularly great or anything, despite me. I love this one, and I love King of the Monsters, and I like the rest of them. And
I think it
don't
starts-
like Godzilla Kong. But Godzilla 2014 is a monster movie. Kong Skull Island is way more of a horror action movie. King of the Monsters is spectacle scale. These are gods that they are talking about. And like we see the colors, we see their scale on the biggest thing possible. Freaking Ghidorah with the lightning storms and all that shit. Like they were going for that Zack Snyder type like epicness of it all. And then once we get to Godzilla vs. Kong and then this, I just feel like it turns into just full-on cartoon shit. But I feel like Godzilla Kong was the fast 4 of it, where it's like, it's not quite old era, it's not quite new era, it's just kind of caught in between. This is firmly like, we're going off the fucking deep end. And you're either here for it or not, but it worked for me.
I think it starts with bad logo design. I hate the Monsterverse logo, Tim.
Yeah.
It looks like a sports drink supplement or something like that. I hate it. It looks terrible, and I think that's where
That right off the
They
bat,
foot.
a bad setup for
Started off a
Andy.
bad
You
foot.
can't have that. You can't have bad graphic design.
Mm-hmm. Time to do the plot.
And now it's time to do the plot after a quick word from our sponsors.
This episode is brought to you by Shady Rays, an independent sunglasses brand that has over 300,000 5-star reviews. They are on a mission to match affordability with durability, making top quality shades accessible to everyone. They have tons of styles and colors to pick from, so finding the perfect polarized shades is a breeze. If you want an upgrade, we recommend their premium Color Rush lenses. Crafted with rare earth materials, these lenses bring high impact color to life, elevating reds, blues, and greens. Here at Kinda Funny, we all love wearing our Shady Rays, whether it is Tim looking dope doing his Pokemon Go walks, Snow Mike rocking the snow goggles, or Joey just looking fantastic in her tangle-free shades. If your shades go MIA or take a hit, Don't sweat it, they've got lost and broken protection, so you're covered from day one. And if you don't love your shades, exchange them or return them for free within 30 days. Exclusively for y'all, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Head to shadyrays.com and use code KF20 for $20 off each pair of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Again, that is shadyrays.com and use code KF20 for $20 off polarized sunglasses.
Oh no, this Kong has got to go. Plot, Plotzilla.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah.
here is the plot for Godzilla Across Kong, the Frozen Empire. Welcome back, all the Ghostbusters from the original Ghostbusters series.
Bill Murray's there.
You want to talk
man.
about a fucking letter writing campaign I'm starting, all right?
What's that
Madam
gonna be?
Web over Frozen Empire.
Oh, you're gonna try to.
Kong over Frozen Empire.
If they had strapped on a power glove to Bill Murray instead of those Ray-Bans, it would have been a different
You
story.
just punch the ghosts.
Punch.
How does Ernie Hudson look so good?
He's
Dude,
incredible.
look insane.
He's jacked. You go back and watch Oz when he
78
was like
years
the warden on that. He's like he beat
78.
the shit out of everyone there. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a plot. We just watched it yesterday, so I did not have a chance to take notes. Caveat, of course, I'm going off the Wikipedia here. Guys, please feel free to fill in the first 5 minutes of this movie because I missed it. So this movie starts with
Kong is just
Godzilla
running.
with Kong just licking his wounds because he got a bad tooth.
No.
It's just
So what
dude,
happened is we
He's got
started.
raptor. What'd you say? Raptor juice.
he got some raptor juice on him.
Somewhere in Hollow Earth, we open up, and it's Kong on the hunting grounds. He's being chased by a bunch of raptor-looking fucks, right? And he's like dodging and weaving, and like, oh god, are they gonna get him? And then it turns out Kong's a smart monkey. All right? This monkey doesn't need to get a banana; he grows bananas.
Yeah.
So he's got all these fucking
Teach
traps set
a
up.
man to get a banana and gets bananas for the rest of his life.
Exactly.
They flash back to him, like growing tomatoes.
He's like in the bib jeans, like on a little straw hat. Anyways, he's fucking smashing him with the two sticks. They're falling in holes and shit. And then one finally gets to him and he tears it apart like he should have in the fucking beginning. Like, yeah, you're King Kong. Cool, thanks. And then he eats it and he's super sad because he's sitting there like
And
so many of these fucking
one's
monkeys
there.
I see at the zoo, sitting there eating this lizard, and he's super sad. He's lonely. You can see in his eyes. You know what I mean? Again,
this is little
I
girl.
agree. We're on the same page. Godzilla looked bad in this movie. Again, because there's more monkey propaganda these people are pushing down our throats, all right? They want King Kong to be a big deal. I don't want to bring this up. I will, though, all right? As everyone knows watching, recently I jumped universes. Someone went back in my timeline and changed things. In my universe, I want you to know that King Kong beat Godzilla. I've been informed several times this week by you guys that in your universe, in your version of the movie, the last one, right? Kong lost to Godzilla, which
got
is
his ass
huge.
beat.
I
Yeah.
didn't get to go see that. I would like to go see that because in my universe, Kong won, and I was fucking furious about it.
Yeah.
I'm
yeah.
still mad now that I'm here because now it's like, think about how your universe doesn't make sense. And I know you're here, your atoms are all built for it.
Right.
But in your universe, Godzilla won. Godzilla won. Everybody knows Godzilla's the fucking king of the monsters.
King.
This lizard, they're fucking putting him on camera for all 15 minutes, Tim, 20 minutes. Instead, I'm following this sad fucking monkey around.
Monkey's expressive.
And the monkey, he's expressive, yeah, and he knows sign language, yeah, right? You're telling me
Monk.
they were like, you know what, monkey man? Go down to the hole. Go down there. Just fucking be in the hollow earth. We'll leave the lizard that's killing everybody up here. Work it out. They worked out in this movie. Look what happens when you talk out your problems.
You're
Anyway,
right.
he's sad down there and he's eating fucking lizards and then his tooth's bad.
Right.
Got bad tooth.
Do you think he ever does the thing that you see on
Throws his
on
poop?
Instagram where he goes and then it smells it and falls off the log?
I hope so, yeah. And again, think about that, Hollywood. That's the kind of
I would pay to see
role
that.
model.
I would pay to see it.
Role model you're setting up. Not the fucking lizard who sleeps like a dog in the Coliseum. Oh,
Adorable.
fuck him. And I
Adorable.
think you know what this really comes down to?
What is
it?
it?
Definitely is
Tell
jealousy
Andy.
about Godzilla -1.
Yeah.
A film that won an Oscar, that people love and put
Yeah.
up here. These fucking Kong people. These fucking monkey sympathizers are out
Yeah.
here doing this. I fucking hate King Kong.
I love this comment in the YouTube chat from CL4TP Gaming. Says, Did they survive level 5 though? A great callback to one of the older.
I don't even remember that.
It's just they had to get out of level 5.
Oh, right.
Level 5 was
Aquaman.
the Brian. Was that the Brian
Right?
Cranston thing?
No,
No?
No. It was a Godzilla interview.
Oh,
it was a Bryan
really?
Cranston one. Yeah.
Yeah,
They
it was. Remember, there was like level 5. It was just like, God, we got to get out of level 5, and then Bryan Cranston got locked in.
had to
He's
get
like,
out of level 5.
the radiation.
Now it was really astounding for other universe Greg.
Roger, who's just a regular user in the chat, says, I feel absolutely lied to. This is a Kong movie. Fuck Kong. Thank you, Roger.
When
he
Greg
works
was
here.
like, unbelievable that totally serious, not an ounce of like humor in this or
Yeah.
joking of him being like, how the fuck does Kong beat Godzilla? I was like, well, he didn't. And he was like, yeah, he did. I was like, Greg, no, Kong got his ass whooped like in the last movie. Like he was destroyed. And he's like, I
Distinctly remember in my universe, Kong putting his foot on Godzilla and like roaring after he beat him.
Yeah, he got the
You're
shit
telling,
kicked
I
out
think
of
you've
him.
told me it's gone the other way. That
got the
Godzilla
sh-
did that.
Yeah, you got the shit
And I'm
kicked
going
out
wrong.
of him.
Like there's things I'm learning that I like and dislike about this universe. I appreciate that about it. I also think in that universe, or in my universe originally, I don't think I was on this in review. And not only that, someone tweeted me today, or on one of the Greg Way comments was like, I wanted to thank you, Greg. They said it only happened because of
Yeah,
you,
you wanted to do
Monsterverse.
this stuff.
I
Yeah.
assure you, ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah.
that is not me. All right,
Yeah.
I know this all sounds like a bit, but I have jumped universes. So Elon Musk has gone back and done something in the timeline that has gone and done this, and I'm here, and I'm fine. I'm having a great time.
I'm having a great
The
time.
big things
You're
haven't
welcome,
changed for the
Greg.
most part.
I'll tell you what, you should watch the show Constellation on Apple
No,
TV.
I know I'm on it in your universe. I'm just letting you know I have no recollection of any of this.
That's a
I
different
was so
Greg.
skinny back then.
Yeah.
I have definitely less gray hair.
I liked how much Godzilla was in this. I feel like he is clearly the superior. He is the one that is so much better than Kong. Kong's the young
So why do I
engineer
gotta spend
that
so
we
much
have.
fucking time?
Because
in this
Kong
new-
is more
Can he
entertaining
fucking
'cause
learn to talk? Can we
Godzilla-
get a fucking Planet of the Apes crossover? Start fucking talking.
I mean, no.
You're down there and there's less gravity. Your vocal cords open up. Banana. And you're like,
I don't know if that's going to solve anything. But yeah, no, I feel like they treated him with respect of
they
like
bring in all
allowing him to
these
come in as
cancer
the
patient
badass.
monkeys. I don't care about you, hairless Joe. Get out of here. I don't know. I don't know who's getting the feedback from these motion pictures that I want. I want more
People
monkeys
love the apes. They love them.
who are in less
They
good
love the
health.
apes.
Like what? No.
You know what's better? Give him a sickly ape. Give him a sickly ape. All right, well, we find King Kong in Hollow Earth.
They're moving rocks around like raiders. Fucking great. I don't care. Or Temple of Doom. I don't care.
Yeah. All right. Well, we go to Hollow Earth, and
Yeah.
Kong's lonely, man, because he's not allowed back up to the normal Earth, the surface, because Godzilla beat his ass last time, and everyone's worried that as long as the two remain in their protective areas, everything's gonna be cool.
Yeah,
Of
they're like,
course-
Kong, you going back up? He's like, oh no, man, it's kind of it's scary up there.
There's a lot going on.
That. We get, of course, Kong wrecking shop. Godzilla's over in Rome. He's sleeping in the Coliseum. Adorable little joke comes back at the end.
Godzilla's affirmed to be our protector up there still, chasing.
Yes.
But he's getting riled up. They're like, why is he getting so riled up?
Something's
getting
going
pissed.
on.
Something's
And then we
going
get a fight with Godzilla and just this new Titan thing in the streets of Rome. Freaking sick as hell, man.
Cool.
This is what I want from these movies.
I'm
It's
your-
monsters fighting. You
I'm
come
your
and they
pro-
fight.
I'm your protector. I'm just gonna knock down all these bridges and step on all these people. Like, there's a lot of people still dying.
Well, it's not
kinda-
protecting the people. It's protecting the Earth. It's more protecting.
Yeah, we're
Like, he
ants
doesn't
on
really
it.
care about the humans.
Yeah, he
But
doesn't
why?
care about humans.
But why does he care about this planet that much?
He lives on it, man.
Well, it's more about protecting his species, his people, because he's killing the Titans. He is the king of the monsters.
He's the apex predator
Yeah.
in the ecosystem. And so,
I
anytime
just
anything
want to see
comes
that
in, he wants to kill
conversation
it.
happen of like, thank you for protecting. He's like, I'm doing this for me. I don't know.
That is,
Like, I don't
that
know.
is something
So-called
that
monarch.
when you start
he yells at the
dialing it,
helicopters when they're too close to him.
Yeah.
when you do start thinking about it, you're like, is Kong? Like everyone wants to root for Kong or Godzilla, excuse me.
He doesn't give a
because
fuck
you're like
about
Godzilla's
you.
the bomb, yeah, but he doesn't care. He kills. There's multiple times where he busts through the bridges. You're like, those people are dead in those cars. He's
Kong
killed
loves
multiple
that,
people.
that little baby.
But Monarch kind of
baby.
deifies him. Everyone's like, he's our protector. I'm like, he's not. He will kill you.
Well, it's
He
here
does
all
not
these
care.
other fucking slugs and worm creatures you got. They're really gonna fuck the place up. You know what I mean? Godzilla
he's-
keeps him in check.
Godzilla's a check and balance.
Yeah.
so
How
to
cool is
speak,
Ghidorah?
which is an
the
interesting.
coolest.
Over here we got the Monarch observation station. This is where my eyes start glossing over because we see this
100%.
station. I don't know. Hollow Earth looks kind of like the jungles of regular Earth, and so it's kind of hard for my brain to be like, wait, what? There's an observation center down there. I don't know. Granted, I'm sure at some point said, oh, it's so weird being in Hollow Earth observation center, but my dumb brain was trying to get some of Andy's popcorn. These guys are like, there's a weird signal going on, and the signal looks like 3 pine trees, and then up in a what are they? Normal
Classroom.
What
Yeah,
are those
normal
things
Earth.
called?
Gia, who every single time someone said her name, Greg went Gia,
Yep.
and I laughed every single
Yep.
time.
I get it. I know
she
you
Gia
goes-
guys well.
Harris' biggest fan.
I'm a huge fan too. I like when she drops by the office. Gia starts going nuts. She starts scribbling. Devil. Like kind of like when Greg has to invoke the spirit of Lucifer. She draws these things on her desk, and everyone's like, "We're pissed off." And clearly, this kid's been through a lot of shit. And the teacher's like, "She can't be doing that, right? We're just trying to find a way to get through." Of course, Rebecca Hall comes. She's like, "She's my daughter now. I've adopted her." They got this cool treehouse hut thing going on, which is like a badass house in the middle. Rebecca Hall has that badass short haircut, and everyone's like, "Looks
I
good."
don't like it. I wish it
And in
was.
these moments, this is where Nick leans over to me. He's like, "Do you remember who these people are?"
Yeah, 100%.
And I was like, I think Godzilla like cared for that little child.
Kong did.
Kong, yeah.
Kong cared for the kid, and the kid. That they've set all this up in this movie is the payoff of this girl is the representation of the twins from the original old movies that like has the connection with Mothra, which is how Mothra ends up coming back in this, which
Right.
they set up in last movie, but like it was like they're not gonna.
We'll get to it later. I need less close-ups of Mothra.
Mothra's
I need more.
freaky deaky.
I need more mystery. I also want a bigger Mothra. Is that weird?
I mean, don't get me started. With
Whenever
size.
whenever they showed Mothra flying next to Godzilla and
Looked
Kong,
like it was
it's like
this big.
Godzilla or Mothra was like not even like the full length of Godzilla, and I don't know why I just expected Mothra to be like fucking this big, like the Phoenix.
yeah,
Tim,
mm-hmm.
Mothra's very much like a Phoenix.
There's a lot of icon stuff in this.
Yeah.
That's why I like it.
at any point in the original series, does Mothra become a set of wings for Godzilla?
I don't know. I'm unaware,
That would
but
be
probably.
amazing.
That'd be like
Like a
Voltron.
Megazord.
Yeah, like a Megazord.
Yeah.
That'd be sick. We got a lot of stuff here. She's freaking out, and she's like, "Look, where you go, I go," which is, I think, a line stolen from the movie Backdraft. Remember when he's hanging
I
off
think
the
that-
thing?
that was
He's
their
like,
intent.
Of course, I remember
yeah.
that.
And he's like,
Remember when
"You
they
go,
fucked
we
on top
go."
of they fucked on top of the fire truck and they
And then
brought
they
down
got
the
a call.
hose and like the undies were on it and they were like what? And then they came like you fucked her, we're firemen.
You said I brought down the hose. I wasn't sure what
No, I'm talking about the movie Backdraft.
the hose.
Yeah, from the fire
The
truck.
fire
hose.
But he was doing some other hosing up there. You know
That's
what
what
I
I'm
mean?
saying. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Every
It wasn't
definition.
spitting water, spitting rope. You know what I mean?
Oh God. Okay.
Oh, here we go.
Oh my God! I swear, Nick and I are just carrying this show.
Yeah, we're carrying.
I mean, see him over here in his burnt orange jacket, thinks he can do whatever he wants.
It's a cool jacket. Don't let him say
you.
that.
I might be skipping around
I'll
here a
let him
little bit,
describe
but a
it.
sinkhole opens up near. Oh, we get
This is
the
hunting grounds. When the sinkhole opens up.
yeah. I think we get a shot of the eyeball too.
You do, yeah. They come up and they smash up the
Monarch
Fucking
outpost or
Scar
whatever
comes
it
up
is.
and smashes up the Monarch
Right.
thing.
Scar King.
And then yeah, he sees a little security camera and he puts his fucking
Before we
jacket
went to
in.
the movie, I forgot who asked Tim like, "What's the name of the bad guy in this movie?" And Tim said, "I think Scarg." Scarg. And we were like, we all kind of collected at the same time. We're like, I don't think that's what it's called.
we don't have high
Scar King,
expectations,
come
but that can't be
on.
right.
The Scar King. We just the whole time we're going ham Scarg.
I'm not as sickly as the other monkeys, but I'm sickly too.
I'll tell you
I
what.
got cataracts, but I'm gonna kick the shit out of Kong.
I'll tell you what I hoped
When's
about.
the last time this guy had to fight anybody? You know what I mean? Go ahead and put me right now. Take me to the hospital.
Yeah.
Declare me king of the terminally ill floor, all right?
Yeah, done.
Yeah, I fucking own every one of these guys. They try to step to me, you know what I mean? I'm knocking IVs out. I'm
You're
stabbing
calm.
them in the tongue with it, you know what I mean? But you then send in fucking anybody else who's healthy years into my reign as king of the sickly. I ain't been practicing.
Wait,
This guy-
I don't understand what your problem is with them. Like they were banished. You want him to be like,
Why is
perfect,
Kong
no?
thriving out there?
Because he's allowed to. He didn't fight Godzilla's species. Godzilla's species stopped.
Yeah,
the-
and shove them down low.
Yeah.
Just put them into Hollow Earth.
yeah. But
Hollow Earth's
they're
so
not-
beautiful outside of their little fire pit.
Uh-huh.
Get out, swing on a vine, do a pull up. You know what I mean?
That is okay. So we'll dial it back to the main.
grass.
What's your fucking and now your Scar is just making them all move rocks. What are you doing? You know what I mean?
I was a
Now
little
moving
lost
back
at
that
the
way.
ultimate plot. I think Scar King was trying to get back up to the surface so he could take over the surface. That was his goal.
Then a new ice age.
I'll tell you what I wanted.
And why? But
Yeah, monkeys
can't
love ice.
Exist in
I'm not
ice
joking about
ages.
that. That was Frozen Empire.
Oh, well,
no, but
they said a
they
new
talk
Ice Age.
about-
Well, because they have what's
Oh,
his name,
right.
Shimu or whatever.
Yeah.
I think it
A
is.
weird Pokemon, like
Yeah.
that was like the Alolan version of like a
Sandshrew?
Godzilla. Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I was hoping was going to happen was that like we're show Scar King and he's like, he's this fucking like red guy, and he's all
I was like, are
gangly.
you an orangutan?
He's got like arms down to his toes. And what I was hoping for when they revealed this other ice like Godzilla or whatever, I thought it was gonna be a bigger Kong. And I was like,
Yeah,
oh, this
me
wasn't even the
too.
bad guy.
I thought when the eyes happened, I was like, oh, it's that Scar.
Yeah.
That Scar.
We thought this was the bad guy.
Still this tweaking goddamn orangutan. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Anyway, we get to the scene called Kong discovers an uncharted region and a tribe of giant apes, including adolescent Suko, after initial confrontation where he uses Suko as a weapon.
It's amazing.
Kong forces
Like,
Suko
how
to-
can you not find
That was
great
dope.
joy in this of this dumb little fucker popping up? Which,
But I
by
had
the
this
way,
moment,
hate
right?
him. I hate his design. Hate everything about what this
Ugly.
thing looks like. But
CG looks terrible.
yeah, absolutely atrocious. So much fucking fun though. Him grabbing him, hitting other people with him. The dynamic between this baby Kong and Kong, I loved it throughout the movie. Kong kind of just being like, fucking lead me, do all this shit. And then just like, I think that they nailed it in a way that when I first saw the trailer, I was like, this is gonna be the absolute worst thing ever.
That was a great laugh. Like, because I
When he
just
started fighting with him?
Yeah.
yeah, I
Oh,
just
yeah.
thought he was gonna be like, oh, you're this child Kong that I have to save. Like, it totally caught me off guard. I thought it was gonna be like, let's pull at your heartstrings, which they eventually then get to. But I didn't expect this little kid to be a fucking dickhead.
I had a quick moment where I got lost. So I got back on track, but for a second
Different
there,
universe.
when he came up and he like bit him and stuff, and then they started fighting him, I was like, oh, he's not a kid monkey. He's just like a Joe C.
Yeah.
monkey. You know what I mean? Where he's like, he's a little person, but he's pretending. And then I was like,
like the baby from Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
exactly, great point. Yeah. Or I was thinking
Mike
like
Stoke,
just a
yeah.
Joe Pesci of their universe who
Yeah.
looked young, and it was like, no, he is still a baby. Like, oh, okay. But then you get the end. And I agree. The payoff for it was fine when he's working with them and stuff. I was like, all right,
figure
you're
Love the moment of Kong saving that one dude, the guy getting back up,
Then immediately getting
grabbing the knife, trying to get him,
Yeah.
and then Kong kicks him.
All right,
Get
that
the
was your
fuck outta
shot.
here,
Get
bitch.
outta here.
That was a great
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was good. That was good.
We get these two bond on their journey here. We get the little the fight with the
I would like to have seen him fight the dragon.
yeah. I
Yeah,
kind of
me
like that.
too.
It's like a
I want to see
big,
them. I want to see them fight everything.
Yeah,
I
I'm
enjoyed
split
it.
on it.
I
I
like-
enjoyed
yeah.
the boom. It just goes down there and he feeds the kid. Thought that was kind of fun. Of course, they head over to the lair, which is in the world of blood and fire over here, and they're building Mordor, the mines of Mordor. They're doing all that jazz, and of course, Kong just
They're
steps
moving
in like a
rocks.
big swinging D, and he's like, "This is not allowed in my neighborhood." And we get the guy that we think is the bad guy, and he just gets his ass beat. And then, that's not the bad guy. The real bad guy is the Scar King,
Even
and he's
sicklier
cool.
looking monkey. Great.
And he's got this like whip made of a spine of another
Come
animal,
on, dude.
and it's got a little crystal on the top of it,
And he
that
wears
crystal,
it like a freaking Chewbacca bandolier.
it's cool. They
Look,
fight. I
okay,
like this
no,
fight
hold
scene.
on. I got beef with it. How does it not fall apart? First off, the
Bones are
fucking-
strong.
The bone thing, but also,
He put a little
like-
fish wire through it.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably. I would've
you know
done
when we saw Kung Fu Panda and like one
good
guy
douche.
had like the cool weapon, the God of War stuff. Like I wanted more cool shit with this weapon. I don't think it was utilized. Like it was just utilized for the same thing, which is like kind of wrapping around Kong's arm.
I thought it was
I
so
wanted him to
sick.
be fucking whipping all over the place and be like, "Hey, I'm faster than anything you've ever seen, dog." Like, cause I'm not bigger or stronger than you. We're the same height, and I probably weigh several less tons than you do.
Yeah.
But I wanted him to like be this incredibly fast thing that Kong's was like, "Whoa, dude! I have never seen." Obviously, someone of my kind before, but also I didn't know anybody could be this fast. I thought he was kind of underutilized, which is why I thought the big reveal was going to be like, "Oh, he's just the lackey.
Yeah,
This
exactly.
is the big Kong."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it
well,
was-
we get the big reveal of the way he's able to control everyone is because he's got this crystal that controls Shimo, who
Love
is
this.
bigger than Kong, right? Or bigger than Godzilla. Shimo's like big because Godzilla.
Yeah, they were next to each other, I think, at some point, right?
I think so,
Shimo
and I
bigger.
feel like Shimo was like
Yeah,
bigger, right?
I mean, when we saw Scar King riding on top of Shimu, it was like there was a noticeable scale difference.
yeah.
And when Kong kind of like side saddled,
Is Shimu its name? I just said that.
I don't know.
I'm reading it here. Yeah, the
Okay, cool.
ancient ice-powered titan Shimu.
when Kong ends up side saddling
excuse me,
Godzilla,
Shimo.
when Kong ends up side saddling Godzilla, like he's kind of like, you know, when the cowboys kind of ride on the side of the horse
Yeah.
when they do that
Oh, I
sort of
think
thing.
like the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, I
No,
know.
when they do the side of the horse thing, they were a lot more similar in scale, which they are the same height, Tim.
We missed a moment here I did want to go back to, which was that Kong popped up to get his tooth fixed.
Oh, right. Yeah,
and
yeah,
I
yeah.
thought this was one of the best moments in the movie. And it, to me, I was like, oh, this should have been what Monarch was about. Like, if you were going to make a TV show about this,
Dentists.
it should have been about a group of people that are just like utility workers for these Titans.
Like
And
The
just
Office.
hanging around. Yeah, like, I mean, like that vibe would have been fun. Where it's like, oh, we got to go out. And they have all the interplays of The Office and the politics and all that stuff. And then they got to go out and fix a tooth. And they got to go out and like unjam Godzilla from the Coliseum or something fun like that.
Yeah,
Anyway.
it's not quite that, but I mean, it is building
Similar to
towards
that.
that type of thing. Monarch's fun. It's a fun show. It's not the best thing ever, but like the Godzilla fight in it in the final episode is worth watching.
Do you like it more than this?
No, not at all.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Different goals. That Monarch way more serious for what it was
Okay.
like trying to attain. I don't think it quite nailed that.
We skip over to I think Rebecca Hall is like, I got to go to Brian Tyree Henry and get his information. And this is
She's drawing mountains.
Right.
And they look like the same waves.
right. And so he's like, oh, there's probably correlation. And she's like, yeah, that was my assessment as well.
I fucking hated this scene.
I
hate her walking up to him and being like, so check out these readings underground. Also, here's what my daughter drew.
Mhm.
And Brian Tyree
It's a
Henry
good
goes,
scene.
oh, they look similar. She goes, right? Thank you. And it was like, it was brain dead dialogue. It's a brain dead fucking interaction between
Yeah.
characters. I hated that. Like, I
They
just
just-
needed her to be like, look at these two things. Like, am I missing something? And him to be like, no, I think I don't know. I just hated the way they kind of went about it here.
Yeah, they wanted to get him back in the movie because they needed some level of comedy relief. And you have to have the character that's constantly asking questions and answering questions. So they needed to get him back in the movie. But I don't know. I think a lot of this was played. This reminded me of a scene from a Transformers movie where Shia LaBeouf is running around with like a chicken with his head cut off because they
some
want you to have
archaeological
some
clue.
level of urgency to all the things that are happening. Didn't really work for me, but we do get the sequence where they go through the sinkhole. We get all that stuff, the blurriness. I love all.
I
this
like that
stuff.
scene. That was fun.
Pretty cool.
That was again like the overtop craziness to have the dentist dressed up. What does she call? The military guy calls him out on looking like somebody. Not Magnum PI, but like that's
No,
what it is to
something
me.
like that,
There's some
yeah.
other movie they
Ace
reference.
Ventura.
Ace
Oh,
Ventura.
yeah.
Thank you. And then the whole like them joking around and going and him freaking out. I was like, oh, this is fun. I like this.
This was a major like,
Like,
hey man, if
hungry.
you have issues with like what's it called when there's too many flashing lights?
Epilepsy.
Like this scene was like really, really intense on the eyes with the sort of. It reminded me of like their version of doing the space jumping in Guardians of the Galaxy
yeah.
with the crazy visuals. And I don't feel like it was ever. I wanted them to keep playing that music because they were playing.
Shit, it was good. This is where the really
It was a good like
too.
80s song, and I was like, oh, this is a cool use of this. And then they just kept on cutting back, and it just felt like they didn't know really what direction they were
Fuck,
going
I'm
for.
almost there.
I do want to shout out the soundtrack.
It was so good.
because they were like, we don't have.
I'd like to welcome you to the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This is a madhouse.
And they would just kind of like play a snippet of it. I was like, no, keep going with that shit. Like rock that shit.
I wanted them to really commit
Yeah.
as they went. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the synth. I'm a sucker for a synth vibe.
Yeah.
And it slapped in
Yeah,
this.
you were dancing in your
I was
chair
like,
a few times. Yeah.
Brought back the themes from prior movies, which I'm always a fan of. They don't always do it.
They go down to the subterranean, and Gia's like, I want to come with you because where you go, we go. And she's like, damn,
we
you're
go
right.
on, we go on.
Where we got build back better. Man, I was going to do the draft bit, but then I was like, they don't
Makes
know.
no
Nobody knows
sense.
it. Last night I texted Andy. I'm like, man, I've been thinking about our zoo. And I was like,
YouTube.com/kindoffunnygames.
yeah, we built a zoo. They go down there and they're like, we got to figure some stuff out. And the dude that's the asshole that's clearly put in this movie just to be cannon fodder gets eaten by a massive plant. Brian Tyree Henry freaks the fuck out. They go over and they find I forget how they find it, but they go to the way station and they find it destroyed.
What the heck broke this? And they look up and they see a big old handprint. They're like, no, that's not Kong.
That's not Kong. That's the sickly one.
This guy has a disease.
Alopecia.
They follow the source of the monarch and they figure out the source is like a distress signal of some sort. The group ventures forward. They discover an uncharted subterranean section that houses the remnants of the Iwi tribe. I like the camouflage that Mothra has put up. It's like an organic camouflage. You can't really see it.
Really
None of
sick.
the other monsters can get through there. They tear through, and of course, they find yet another subdivision of this track housing that is Hollow Earth. And this is where the Iwi people live.
That was level 5.
That was, yeah. They all communicate telepathically with each other. They can understand each other's thoughts. Interesting. I thought this was done fairly well. I thought also I should call out the fact that I thought like all the sign language stuff with Gio was done very, very well as well. That's a hard thing to do for actors, and I think that was a difficult thing to watch in like Echo, where so much of the dialogue and so much of the emotion had to get across that way. It's a very difficult thing to do, and I think that Rebecca Hall did a good job.
I'm right there with you. I think this is like maybe my favorite version of seeing this represented on screen.
Really?
I didn't
More
love,
than Echo?
I didn't love it in Echo,
I loved it.
and I think I don't know. There was just some moments with dialogue that like didn't quite work there for me, where it's like you want the actor, even though they're speaking to the person who is hard of hearing, you want the person that is not hard of hearing to like still emote and yell. And I think here it was done really well. I enjoyed it.
From here, I
also,
do.
anytime they said Iwa, I wanted to go Ewa
Yeah.
or Iwi. Was it Iwi?
Iwi, I think IWI.
IWI? I kept on thinking of the Ewa of Avatar.
From Avatar.
Good
Ewa.
movie.
Remember how many times they said that in that movie?
Hair penis.
Lord, out there they say Ewa. Like we say, God damn it. They're like Ewa, damn it. And I stubbed my toe. Last night I got up to pee in the middle of the night, and my wife's not home. She's visiting family, so I'm just lost without her, and just fucking stubbed the shit out of my toe. Just stubbed the shit. Ah! No one's here to witness this.
Then you went to the fridge, just ate lunch meat.
How did you know that? Did I tell you that? So we
You
we get to
microwave Parmesan cheese.
we get to the moment that I think this is where Greg sighed, because
I can't even
before
tell
they
you.
go into the Iwi tribe, they have to tell us what the story of this movie is, and what better way to depict that than a very specific not cave drawing, but like a hieroglyphic
And Rebecca's
drawing.
just walking, and then this, and then that,
And then they
this,
go,
and
it's
then that.
everything's fine. You're like, okay, so let me follow this. So Godzilla pushed all the apes back.
Frozen
made
Empire
them-
did it way better, man.
made them live in the fire realm, and
Garaka
but
would
Scar
own
King
these
really
people.
doesn't like that. Scar King wants to go up to the surface and rule the surface. Why, we don't know, because Hollow Earth's every bit as big as the surface. What are you going to do with that big of an empire? Like, what do you really need that many resources for? Are you going to like?
Hollow Earth
what's
seems
the
dope,
point?
right? Everybody's chilling.
It's pretty cool.
It
It's
looks
like all
it's
you
a big old
kind of really
jungle.
want to do is just get out. But I guess to them, they got banished to this one little tiny fire realm, so they don't.
Who's
all they know is
watching?
up there in this. I don't know.
But again,
Did they sign a treaty and said we got to stay here in the dark and be moving blocks all day?
But the way to beat these people
How are
is
they
that we've got to
reproducing?
get Godzilla back to beat the shit out of them. Kong has to team up with them, but Kong and Godzilla can't communicate with each other. They need an intermediary, and that's Mon Mothra from Star Wars.
Of course.
She's the one who's going to tell you guys about the schematics for the Death Star.
But what
Mon Mothra cannot be brought back unless the one sole representative from Skull Island comes. And it's foretold.
Prophesized.
They knew that Kong
Nissan Al-Gaib.
Island was going to go down. Everyone was going to die, but one person was going to survive. I don't like narrative device. I don't like a prophecy as a narrative device. It never works.
But
Stop
here's the
doing
thing.
it.
Here we go.
Stop doing
from me.
it.
Spin
It
it
is
from
what it is. They've been building to this through all of these movies.
I bet.
We've been seeing the same hieroglyphics, the same drawings. We're just adding more and more around the story. This prophecy they've been building since as early, I want to say, as the Skull Island, with the credits ending, and then we see in the credits, we see the hieroglyphics, and we see that there's like Godzilla and Kong, and oh shit, they're actually going to meet at some point. I appreciate that they're actually trying to care about the world that they set up, and having Mothra be the thing that they need to return. I was like, this is freaking awesome for what they have to play with.
It just feels like after every movie, the people that made that movie go, we're not going to do this anymore. We're canceling the Monsterverse. And then another group goes, no, actually, we want to continue it. And it just like, it just doesn't like, I'm sure the lore has been set up. It just feels like so disconnected from I can't believe this is still in the same universe as the other movies because of no continuity between like actors, you know, like I still want, bring back Bryan Cranston, bring him back from the dead. You know what I mean? Give him the fucking Dragon Balls. Go find all the Dragon Balls, bring him back to life. But what I hated about this the most, Nick, was again the line delivery in this moment. This isn't Rebecca Hall going, oh, and it says that this is gonna happen. This is her explaining it like she's the narrator of a trailer.
Yeah.
And one day the prophecy will say, it's like you're doing like a voice acting lesson right now, as opposed to like explaining and maybe stumble through some of the story that you're trying to tell and be like, I think it says this and that. I just hated all this, man.
I think this is the fundamental where we disagree on this. It's like, to me, it's like that is the cartoon writing of like, yeah, it does sound like that because that's what it is.
And what I
and if they
need,
tried for it to be good and real, it's like, I don't need to see you act right now.
but I need Michelle Rodriguez then.
Yeah.
I need a terrible,
Fair.
I don't, like Rebecca Hall's like
I mean, I could have done without her for sure.
She's doing like a really, really good job, and it doesn't belong here. Like
You're too good for this movie, Rebecca.
Yeah, it's like, hey, Daniel Day-Lewis, get out of this fucking Godzilla movie. Bring in goddamn John Cena. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Caliber.
From here we got to cut. Godzilla's going crazy. He's got to take on. He's
just eating nukes.
Mike Ellis as
Tiamat.
Mecca Cranston.
Yes, dude. He's got to take on Tiamat because he's charging. He also assaulted a nuclear facility.
Dude, he goes to Paris.
Sucks all the power
And
of
he fucking
that.
sucks out a nuclear plant.
That's
It's
pretty cool.
Awesome, dude.
suck
They
that
do.
plant
They
off.
do mention that he's highly radioactive, so you have to imagine everyone in Rome has now has
Oh
cancer.
yeah,
and
everybody's
is dead.
fucked up.
Oh, yeah.
They're all dead. Pretty much anywhere he goes, Gibraltar, all those places, he's fucking dead. Egypt, everyone's dead. Because when you suck in basically all the power of a nuclear power plant, I'm pretty sure the radius of a couple hundred miles around him is just going to be fucking nuked. But I digress. Maybe he just gets it in and like can filter it out. Similar to how when I went to the poop plant when I was in college, they have like rocks that have little bacteria in it that eats all the rest of the bacteria and filters out the water so you can use it for like irrigation.
Poop plant?
Yeah, I had to go to the
Like a
the
sewage treatment
sewage treatment facility.
Huh, interesting.
And the guy had a great joke. He's like, "Do you guys want to hear a joke?" He's like, "Why do I have the worst job on the planet? Because we have to take shit from everyone."
Doesn't get better than that,
And
everybody.
that guy
yeah,
was
yeah.
Carrot Top.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, prop comedy went downhill. So he's taking on, and then he takes on Tiamat, and Tiamat's like, it's not a hard fight for him. He just jacks up this monster that's got the most energy reserve on the planet, and they make a big point of being like, this is the highest energy reserve
he's got
ever.
all
If he
the
gets this,
energy.
he'll have so much energy. It's like a lot of energy, and then he like blasts Tiamat's face off, and it like the surface, the stuff floats to the surface.
Come
and
on.
then he goes,
Come on, guys. This is fucking awesome.
It's I mean, again, all this stuff is spectacle. To me, I'm eating popcorn, I'm enjoying all this shit. Do I have any investment in this whatsoever? Absolutely not. Will I ever watch this movie again? Absolutely not. While it's happening, I'm like, his scales went from blue to pink. I get it. That's a dumb visual way of telling Nick he's powered up. We're ready to rock,
Oh, yeah.
right? He
Goes
goes
I
up.
could be playing Helldivers right now.
You could be, man.
I could be with my
But you got to
son.
spend time with your best friend, Nick Scarpino.
That's true. But we didn't get to talk enough.
We laughed a lot.
We did laugh.
Yeah. And then every once in a while, we looked at Andy and just shot him a look. The prophecy, we got through the prophecy already. Thank God. Okay, cool. Kong confronts Kong. We should mention also got frostbite on his hand. He gets
Yeah.
messed up. He has to
Yeah.
trap everyone because he saw the movie Predator also, and he was like, "Come on, come get me! Come on, I'm over here, I'm over here." And the
And
Predator
little
was like,
Kong got
"No,"
him.
and the little Kong got him, and it was pretty cool.
Dope.
Just exactly that scene. And he's like, "Man, I'm messed up." What I don't love, and also kind of love 100%, is that Kong's just really fucked up. And they're like, "Oh, we have a power glove that we just happen to have, and it's down here, and I'll go get it because it can fly itself, just like Iron Man's gloves with the Hulkbuster." And so it does that. And don't worry, Kong's fucked up. He just got his ass beat.
He's
and dying
it's
of
either
frost.
gonna fix everything or he's gonna rip it apart.
And it goes like
I think he likes it.
It goes boom, boom, boom. It's like and it's got and now he's like
It's like-
upgraded. He's upgraded.
Yeah.
And that's cool.
Man,
and
that
so
was cool.
and then so the little girl's like, "You gotta go get Godzilla," and he's like, "No, thank you. He beat my ass."
Yeah.
And I don't want to do that.
Well,
And they're like,
people
"No,
like
you gotta
lizard.
go do it. You gotta go do it." So he goes up.
Live top, monkey live down.
Yeah, I'm, down.
Sickly monkeys need to be home.
Yeah. Greg goes.
Give me gun, I die.
Jesus
Oh, my
Christ.
God.
Jesus Christ.
Kong no live.
Wow. That was
Kong
good
sad.
timing.
Kong no wanna
Kong-
live.
Shit.
Kong
Kong
hates his life.
misses the sun.
Yeah, Kong hasn't seen the sun. How there's light here, I don't know.
Hollow Earth.
How did they described why there's
Everything's
light
different
there,
down
right?
here. You got fucking portals everywhere up there. People know.
Cool. Let's see. Godzilla. Kong
This
goes
shit
up.
started, I would immediately start a suicide cult. If right now, anytime Godzilla and some giant fucking worm are gonna come smashing through, I'd be like, listen, guys, we had our shot. It was good. I don't want to be a part of this anymore.
Yeah.
So let's all get together.
It's a lot out there.
Say goodbye.
It's kind of like whenever if there is a threat of nuclear, like Holocaust happening.
Yeah.
My wife and I have decided. Me and Dee are like, we're just gonna go to wherever the most likely nuclear target is, and
So
we're just
you're-
gonna hang out.
Die right
I want,
away.
it's the war games concept,
Yeah, I
right?
like
Where it's
that.
like I just want to see a flash and be done. That's it.
Fair enough.
Don't even tell me it's coming. I'm not living in the road. I'll tell you that right now.
No,
You
thank
ever
you.
seen that fucking movie?
I actually
She'll give
haven't.
you fucking nightmares.
Good movie.
I know. I need to.
Great.
Heard about it a
Nightmare fuel.
bazillion times.
You ever seen Book of Eli?
I haven't either.
Wow.
Exact same movie. In fact, a lot of people say
You ever played The
they
Last
ripped
of
the
Us?
whole
Half played The
Cormac
Last of
McCarthy
Us.
ripped off
Yeah.
Gary Whitta. It is The Last of Us, basically. Anyway, so they're like, dude, you got to go up there. He's like, guy, I got this glove. I got to go up there. I beat all the people's asses. It's great. Scar King got out of the thing with, they took his ride Shimo, and they're coming. And so he's like, I got to go get Godzilla. And dude, Kong's credit, When Godzilla comes at him, he's like, bro, hold on for a second. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
And this is
Like,
where
we're
you
good.
can see
we
it.
good, right?
They're in the writer's room. They're figuring out how do they do this? What do they do? And who steps up? Timothy Randolph. That's right. DJ Junkie XL.
Got
and
it.
he's like, I worked on a motion picture called Batman v Superman. Can we have Kong's words here be Martha? And they're like, no. He's like, well, let me show you the scene because we're just going to recreate that. Of him coming in and Kong being like, monkey, monkey. You know what I mean? God's like, I'm going to fucking
Do
kill
the thing
you.
with the gun again.
Kong miss outside. No one to live in Hollow World. Make giant gun. So I kill myself.
Only need one bullet.
Thank you for just having the shot be them too. I want no part of this.
Please, little girl. Life no longer worth living because I am a monkey, and the only other monkey that's somehow similar to me is very small. But is he a young monkey or an old monkey
is
who
he
never
Joe
grew?
Pesci?
Kong, no. Kong confused by Hollow Earth theory. That makes no sense. Don't make more arms. Make a gun.
They're just out there making arms. So many arms. Andy, I don't know that you want to come back, man.
Oh, man. All right.
Thank
well,
you. That's good. That's good.
they go up there and they start fighting. Meanwhile, downstairs, Gia unleashes Mothra, and it's a cool moment. She has to climb a really high set of stairs, no guardrails. So I'm thinking to myself,
OSHA compliance.
like, you fall down, you're gonna skip, you're gonna fall.
It is steep when she finally gets up there.
Because she gets up there, first off, obviously a child, they have infinite energy, but it's like, what kind of fucking donut or power bar do they get for her to climb 800 flights of stairs?
They did the marking on her.
The steepness reminded me of like how do more people not die like in the upper decks of baseball games?
Yeah, no,
or
that's a good
football
question.
games. Whenever I see the stands with them, I'm like, dude, like if one wrong step, like you're gonna just momentum's gonna carry you off that, and you're.
So remember when the guy died at Soldier Field?
Holy shit, I do
Bears
remember
game,
that.
yeah.
I do remember that.
Did he tumble down?
Yeah, not like the stairs. He was like the walkway. Like, one of us.
Tough. Mothra comes
in
up
peace.
and Mothra's like, no. I mean, it's a cool fight scene, right? Mothra's like, no.
Did you sound like that?
No. Yeah, it's like,
Peter.
I do also want to mention before we leave that I think the best part of this movie, and Tim, I'm sorry that you missed this because you didn't come to our screener, was that every single time either Andy or Greg adjusted their chair.
It's not her fault.
It went like this.
It's like
Andy did it. And I was like, oh, it sucks for Andy. And then like 10 minutes later, I went, God damn it.
well, I did it. I was like, "Ooh, this kind of sucks. Let me just get adjusted early, right?" And then 3 seats down to our right, they were doing it. It was like, and it's like it sounded like there was just like I don't
baseball
know, like
card in your spokes.
a little piece of plastic kind of stuck somewhere. I was like, "Ooh, this doesn't sound great." And I heard Greg do it, and then every once in a while, just to kind of break up the monotony of the movie, I would just.
Just it was like they were communicating through clicks. Mothra is free.
Hold on, just real quick.
Yeah.
Mothra's back, guys. Like, this is fucking
That means
awesome,
nothing to anyone.
man.
I was going to say, if I could chime in real quick, Andy had a joke that he wanted to do a quiz of me and the whole universe stuff.
Yeah.
I assure you that in my universe, Mothra was not in our previous pictures.
Gotcha.
You don't
would have
remember that trailer?
If you would have asked me, hey, is Mothra right now, if we hadn't talked
Yeah.
about it, I would be like, Mothra popping up in this movie. I remember Mothra from, the 80s and 70 movies I watched back. That's cool. And then you'd be like, no, he's actually been around before. Like, what? In this universe? Mothra?
You don't remember Millie Bobby Brown looking up at like the big ass blue
I do.
wings?
Here's the thing. I remember that, but I would have bet all the money in my pocket right now that Millie Bobby Brown was in the movie with Bryan Cranston, and that Aaron Taylor Johnson and
It was Elizabeth Olsen.
and Elizabeth Olsen were
God
brother
bless her
and
heart.
sister in a movie in one of the movies.
I she didn't see that coming.
Anyway,
For audio listeners, Nick did some Spider-Man thing. It was a desperate moment for him.
I just want this to be over because I
All eyes
honestly,
are on him.
I'll be honest with you. Andy went to the shelf, nothing came off. Nothing came off of it, buddy.
Yeah, but
I
the
was
end
so-
of King of the Monsters, Greg, which is like one of the best moments of this entire franchise. Legitimately, we have Ghidorah, who's the
Three-headed.
fucking former King of the Monsters. They're being a fucking badass, calling lightning storms and shit. Godzilla and Mothra team up. They're in love. Like they're having like their cuddle times and shit. Yeah, but
They're cuddling?
They're like
monster cuddling.
They're
but
like
yeah.
Jean Grey and Wolverine.
Yeah, Yeah.
Those are two
What is this
demons.
one called?
King of the Monsters. And essentially, like, Mothra has to kind of sacrifice herself to save Godzilla. And, like, it's very, very touching. And then they fight, and then Godzilla fucking rips off one of Ghidorah's
Mothra's
three
like
heads.
Mothra's wing is like on fire and shit,
It's
right?
crazy visuals. And, like, we see a
So
shot
how's
of
Mothra
Ghidorah.
come back in this flick?
She's got
The resurrection stuff. Like,
They
she
resurrected
kind of had, like,
stones.
go away, and it was like, she was all injured
the
and
Phoenix.
shit.
We'll keep,
Yeah,
we'll keep
dude.
going on the plot. So she comes up, and then she's like, "Y'all got to come down here and wreck some shit."
Wait, hold on. Greg is opening up the movie, and it's because of HBO Max. They showed a little trailer in the beginning, and I saw Jason Momoa as Aquaman. I was like, is Greg just bringing up the Aquaman movie
Amazing.
right now?
Amazing. They go down there as Scar is attacking the barrier that Mothra has made. The plan here is now to use some of the science they have, all the gravity science, to create a 2-minute timetable for them to just propel everyone into gravity. Of course, that seems like a bad idea because at this point now our monsters are there. But hey, it's already too bad. It's already in motion. Everything goes haywire, upsy downsy, topsy turvy. The plane crashes. Mothra saves them, lands them nice. We get a cool gravity fight where everyone's going hard in the yard, just floating all around, flipping each other off,
Flying
all
off
that jazz.
rocks.
Yeah,
I love a
dude.
floating rock, Tim.
Very, very
Hell
cool.
yeah.
And I love it when there was another movie we saw recently. Oh, was it? Oh, it was Kung Fu Panda, where they're like
Yeah, they
jumping
fly on
off the
rocks.
floating
Oh,
rocks
yeah.
and shit. Yeah,
It's super cool.
cool stuff.
Scar King manages to get through one of the portals that goes up to the real surface. Kong goes through, but without his axe. I think Godzilla's up there as well. They fight first, and then I think Godzilla and Mothra come. I can't remember either way. The little baby Joe Pesci monkey eventually gets the Kong's badass battle axe. Which I love the design of this thing because it makes the bone handle like glow with red. Which
So
is cool.
tight, dude.
I'm also just so simple. It's like, okay, that guy's the red guy, this guy's the pink guy, this guy's the blue guy, this guy's the green
they
guy.
did it
I
in
like
this movie, man.
That's what I like. As you all know, my favorite thing about the Hunt for October is that every sub has a color, and I'm like, cool. That's the green sub. That's the red sub. That's
But
the blue.
but another just easy win for me in moments like this is like, because I'd kind of forgotten about the axe, and it reminds you of like playing a Souls game where my big great sword weapon can be a dragon's tooth, and the fact that like the axe is one of Godzilla's like fucking like right, it's like one of like the back pieces or whatever. That's so cool to me. Like. Yeah,
And he got it because he had no chance of beating Godzilla in the last movie, but they're like, we got to give this fucking monkey something.
Yeah.
So that's what they gave him.
Wait, sorry, go back.
It's a
Because I was watching
The
the
scale
other
off
movie.
Godzilla.
The
Oh,
axe
it
is
was.
a scale.
Oh,
It was
that's
from
cool.
the last movie. Yeah,
And that's
Tim,
why I can
you might
power
have
up.
jumped universe. I've been skimming around. There's no Mothra in this movie. He ain't back here. There's no Mothra doing nothing.
It was in the trailer. I do remember that. It's
Welcome
a
to the goddamn movie.
No burning wing in them.
Just go to
and
the
also,
end.
again, back to it. Like, if you would have told me, yo, Josh from West Wing is
Yeah,
in one
he
of
was
them,
in
I'm like, no. In
Remember
my
guys never-
universe, he was
God,
not
God.
in this. In my universe, he was not in this movie.
You don't remember him someone going, God, and he goes, Zilla.
Yeah, I remember that.
Well, you're from the wrong universe.
I know, I'm
You gotta
telling
check
you.
your DNA strand and see which way they spin.
Check your DNA strands, bro.
It was
I think
that-
it might have been Morgan Freeman in my universe.
and you know what? That was probably my least favorite part of that trailer that I love so much.
God.
That I keep on bringing it up because you hear somebody go, "Oh my God, Zilla." It's very very stupid.
And remember how many times I did it after that and it annoyed you? Every time anyone would say God in the office, I was like, Zilla.
I don't
Similar
remember
to
that.
how-
That's a different universe.
I was
I
gonna say
may
that
be.
didn't happen in my
Yeah.
universe either.
No, I think I probably just had a stroke. All right, let's move along. They go upstairs. We break the crystal, and now all the Titans, including Shimo, are like, "You're fucked, man,
Dude,
And she freezes
come
him.
on.
She freezes Scar King,
His eye moves.
and then his eyes move. He's like, "Shit, he can still feel." And you're like, "That's terrifying." And then they smash him on the ground.
I did like that, just like kind of subtle storytelling of Shimu being free from this, looking at Godzilla and be like, "Oh, you're mad at him? All right, I'll fight that guy
Because
too."
he's the king of the monsters. We established it
Yeah.
in the film Godzilla, King of the Monsters, where the final shot of it is him standing there and all the monsters bowing to him,
to his
which
ass.
is fucking awesome.
But
And
there's
you just
one guy in the
know
back. He's
that.
doing like, fuck that guy. Like, he's in the back.
Dude, it's so sick, and I love this where it's like they set up that the bandolier thing has the crystal that controls the mind of the ice mount, and then the ice mount, once the crystal's broken, it's like, ah, fuck, I represent my true king. We're gonna fuck you up now using my ice powers, and then Godzilla and them team up, freaking break the Scar King, who's made of ice now.
Yeah.
This movie fucking rules.
I do want to say it was really cool when Godzilla punched, or when Kong punched Godzilla with the glove. Like, I know I was probably in the restroom when that happened, but that was just like a really cool, like, Godzilla be like, God damn.
Oh, sick.
Kong's got hands right now.
You got hands.
He also
Metal hand.
punched Scar King's tooth out. which was a nice
Perfect
little,
type of fun I want from this shit.
Yeah,
man.
no, well, it was a little
There's an
reference to earlier.
When
with
they
Scarface.
made fun of
Laughing
him, yeah.
too,
A tooth
and he's
for a
like,
tooth
yes.
makes
And
the
I'll
whole
say that
world.
was also an interesting thought. Way back to that
bitch
one.
ass Pesci monkey.
Yeah.
When Skarkin walks up to Kong and he lifts up his lip, he's like, "Look at this fake tooth." And I was like, "Why are they laughing about this?"
Why
but
would
he
Kong let
laughs,
him do this?
and everybody follows. Right? Everybody starts laughing, and even the little monkey's like, "Yeah, it is funny." I was like, "Oh, you're a jerk, dude.
Pesci
You're
monkey.
alive
He's
because of him."
Pesci just going with whichever way the wind blows, my friend.
I've been in a lot of fucking situations where I've walked into a room where there's another big podcaster there and he thinks he's king shit and he's trying to put his fucking fingers in my mouth. I ain't having it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Exactly.
Why did
Fuck
I
you, Hank Green.
instantly
Never again.
Why did I instantly think of that scene from 21 Jump Street where Rob Riggle's like, no, what is
Put it
that?
back in, put it back in.
He's starting to talk back in. Anyway, the battle's over. Godzilla returns to rest in the Coliseum. Cute little joke there. Mothra restores the protective barrier of the Iwi's home. Kong, together with Shimo and Suko, return to Hollow Earth where Kong becomes the new leader of the
Sick
tribe.
monkeys.
And then we get
Follow
another,
me.
And then we get another little moment where Rebecca Hall's like, you can stay with your people. And she's like, no, man, they don't have fucking internet down here. This place sucks. I'm
Yeah.
going back up with you. Which is,
Where
I
you
was
go,
reading
I
the
go.
subtext of it, right? She's like, you go, we go.
Yeah,
Fire,
you saw
fire.
you saw like the leader behind her like read her thoughts. She was like, "Oh, fuck you." I know we don't have Wi-Fi, but come on.
It's like, we could probably get Netflix down here. We
This
can send
place is
signals
cool.
with our brains,
Yeah.
but whatever. It's cool. We can get free cable. And then she chooses to go and stay with her adopted mother, and everything is good. And we're done.
Was
We
there
beat all
credit
the
scene?
monsters.
No post credits.
Nope.
For this one.
This was
No previews
The
either.
end of the Monsterverse.
This was the quietest like theater I've ever like walking out. I wouldn't have assumed anybody around me watched this movie. Like I'm used to always like at least one or two conversations of like, man, I can't believe that happened, or
Yeah.
can you believe Thor, or whatever. It was just
That
like
was 2 hours of our life.
And then Nick walked by me as I was crossing by him, leaving the restroom, and he was like, "What a weird movie."
It was weird. I mean, these movies are
Weird.
you just shut your brain off. They're dumb fun. I think for you get a lot of it out of the lore. To me, I was largely confused the entire time by what was going on, and I was just like, where are the monsters and when are they going to fight? And when they fought, I enjoyed it.
I'll tell you what, it was a big moment for me though, personal growth. I drove to the theater and I parked in that complex.
Wow.
Proud of you. Real
Huge.
proud of
I
you.
still try to pay somebody on the way out. I was like, somebody take my
free.
card. I don't know.
You just dropped $1. You just crumbled it
Yeah.
up and dropped it.
Now it's time for Kaiju in review, which is our Ragu Bagu.
Kaiju. In review.
Currently, we have Godzilla, Kong, and Mecha Godzilla as number one. That is from the last movie. Then we have Ghidorah and Charles Dance from King of the Monsters.
Right. I forgot. He
Yeah,
was like,
'cause
we
in the
gotta release this
In the
thing.
trailer, he goes, "Long live the king," and I was like, "Dude, that's
Cool.
awesome."
We have the Skull Crawlers and SLJ.
That should have been
From
higher.
Kong Skull Island.
Crawls are cool.
And then the Mudos from Godzilla 2014.
Samuel L. Jackson is in one of these motion pictures.
He was
Yeah.
in the
The one with
Skull
John
Island
Goodman.
one. John Goodman.
It was in the 70s, Vietnam. Remember that?
John
Vietnam?
Goodman is in this as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's you're not thinking of 10 Cloverfield Lane.
No.
Is he in
Helicopters
10
are
Cloverfield
flying.
Lane in this
Yes,
he
universe?
is.
Okay.
Yeah. He's also
Helicopters
in
are
Monarch.
flying. It's like Kong Vietnam. I'm on a wrong way to invade a flag. Ooh, the red, white, and blue. And fucking
Credence,
Kong's
Credence,
running.
yeah, sure.
Nailed it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I cannot believe that we put Godzilla, Kong, and Mecha Godzilla at number one. I'd put this under Ghidorah and Charles Dance, above the Skull Crawlers and SLJ and the Mudos.
So would I, because I was kind of let down by this Kang fella.
King.
Agreed.
Scar King.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll agree.
I was gonna say Krang. King.
And now it's time to rank the Monsterverse. If you could please bring up the ranking that Andy made, that'd be fantastic. At number one, we have Kong Skull Island. At 2, we have Godzilla versus Kong. 3, we have King of the Monsters. And 4, we have Godzilla 2014.
Cover all the words on the left side of the screen right now. Doesn't that look like, hey, power up your body with fucking Metabolife or
Monsterverse.
some shit? You know, that
Yeah.
logo sucks, dude.
Oh,
But
yeah,
it's,
okay.
But Andy,
the Monarch
can I
logo.
change your mind, though?
Let me hear it.
It's a Monarch
It's
butterfly.
a butterfly. Monarch.
In what way?
It's a butterfly.
It's wings. It's got 2 wings and it flies.
You ever seen a fucking butterfly?
That does
What the
not look
fuck?
like a butterfly.
Andy, I need you to watch Silence of the Lambs this weekend. They have butterflies in that. You'll figure it out.
Are
Dead
you- are you
last,
fucking
number
with me?
5.
That
I'm with
doesn't-
Andy. This is definitely the logo for an energy drink that's
Yeah.
No, I'm with that
filled
too.
up our fridge.
Barrett, can you bring up the Meat Eater logo?
Oh, my God.
For Andy?
One of my favorites.
Good logo.
I hate it.
This list, like I said earlier, I could not disagree more with like where we're at with some of these things. But with this list, I'm going number one.
You like this more than Skull Island?
Yeah, I do. Because
this
Skull
list.
Island, I think I really liked Skull Island a lot. And I really like King of the Monsters.
that
Oh
media.
my
Look
god!
at that logo.
But yeah,
Jesus
Because it could be
Christ.
either.
It could be either way, Greg.
I see
Meteors
it,
on one side,
yeah.
meteors on the
This
other.
one had the most of the things I like and the least of the things I don't like. The fact that there's less humans in this than any of the other movies, and I like Trapper. I give it to this one.
I would put this at number 4 above Godzilla 2014 only because they kill off Bryan Cranston in the first 15 minutes of the movie. That's the biggest crime of them all.
I say dead last.
I'd probably put it underneath Godzilla versus Kong.
So
I
number
enjoyed it, but it's just I don't remember most of it, so I put number 3.
That's where it goes then.
All right.
Travesty for this to be under Godzilla versus Kong, but it's okay, everybody.
I like.
I don't think it's okay with you right now, Tim.
Yeah, it's from your tone. I'm getting the opposite.
You're giving me vibes that it's not okay. Kong Skull Island is far and away the coolest of all of these.
Well, it's cool because it's
It had like
it's horror.
cinematography.
Yeah, but it also largely revolves around the humans, and there's that dynamic there that I think is more interesting than some of the other movies.
Remember that one fucking guy who's like, I'm gonna sacrifice myself. Come get me. He's holding the grenade.
And
And
all
then
the fucking things that
The,
eat him.
the skull fucking eater guy or whatever just whips him with the tail. Because he was like, oh,
Yeah.
eat me so I could blow up with this grenade inside of you. And the guy just looks at him and he sees like the little grenade in his hand, just tail whips him to the mountain explosion off. That shit was
Cool,
so
man.
sick.
Fucking sick as hell. So yeah, there you go. Number 1, Kong Skull Island. 2, Godzilla vs. Kong. 3, Godzilla Cross Kong, The New Empire. 4, Godzilla King of the Monsters. And 5, Godzilla 2014. I just want everybody to understand and know that if Godzilla -1 was part of all of this, it'd be number 1. It would be number 1 by such a far.
It's so, I mean, if we were to rank all of our in review movies,
it would be top 5.
it would be top
Easily.
5.
I
Legit.
can't
Yeah,
wait to see
dude.
this.
Yeah.
Well, hold up.
Hold up.
Okay, you're right.
Because like,
There's like Jurassic Park and
and there's also like Mission Impossible Fallout and
all right,
stuff.
it's up there.
It
though.
would be,
it's in the
it would
conversation.
be way the hell up there.
It's in the
You all need
conversation.
to watch it, man.
we
Yeah.
did the Nolan movies too.
If
Oh,
it,
shit, yeah.
there-
top one.
I mean, it's I put
Dune
it up
2.
there.
Dune
I put it
2.
up there.
It's very, very good.
We have no information on when it's coming to America in English at all, so we'll see. But hey, maybe we add that one to this in review just for fun.
We have to.
and maybe Matthew
I
Broderick's
want
as
to.
well.
I want to rewatch
Ooh.
But
Hank
we'll wait
Azaria.
and see, everybody. Let us know if you loved it, if you hated it, anything in between. But until next time, I love you all. Goodbye.
it. Have a monsterful day.